Welcome to another Reddit story video. Today we bring you a COVID story. Subscribe so you can watch more videos when you stay at home, and keep safe. Yesterday I tested positive for COVID-19. Ask me anything. So I tested positive yesterday. The reason I started this thread is that I don't know anyone else with it. It would be cool to see how others are doing. For me, I keep going through cycles of feeling normal and then quite a week with a cough. Each cycle lasts for a few hours. When did I realize I maybe have COVID-19? Short of breath. I had a normal cigarette and I found it hard to breathe after like I needed to take deep breaths. I stopped cigarettes for a few days because of this. How did I feel this morning? I woke up with a pretty bad cough but feel fine now. I'm 24 and do not have an underlying health condition. Update. 22 hours, my temperature is 37,4. 22 hours 24 minutes, fine, I will quit smoking. An official statement will be released soon. 16 March, my temperature was 36,5 Celsius this morning. I feel fine at the moment but have a bit of a cough. Last night I did get dizzy before I fell asleep.
Are you gonna use this as a way to quit smoking?
I don't know. I've been on and off since 13 years old. Right now I'm off cigarette but I'm using nicotine spray.
I really hope you get well soon. I have a couple of questions. Are you staying at home or are you at the hospital? Are you scared that you have infected members of your family? Do you know where you got the virus from?
Staying at home. I don't think I will end up in a hospital. Yes, I'm worried about the family but I've been around them a few days now, hopefully, they don't get it. No idea where I get it from. I was skiing for a week, so maybe there.
Most cases in Denmark are returning tourists from northern Italy and Austria. Where did you go skiing?
France.
Aha. Seems corona likes skiing then.
Viruses thrive in the cold.
Hello, fellow positive. I've had it for about a week now and it's slowly passing. Was worried at first cause I'm also a smoker but just feels like an extra shitty cold on steroids, to be honest. What are you doing to keep yourself entertained?
Yee man, it is weird. It felt like I was gasping for air when I had a cigarette, so I stopped and switched to nicotine spray, which has been helpful. I'm able to work from home, so I've been doing that. It's good to actually message somebody else with it. Aha.
Can you describe the worst of your symptoms thus far? Any vomiting?
Short of breath. No vomit or diarrhea.
How short of breath is the shortness of breath? Like after working out mildly? Working out intensely? Do you feel like you're taking in enough air? Sending much love.
Working out intensely. Thanks.
I see, thanks. Does this come and go? How are you breathing now? Hope you're getting better.
Breathing was fine today. I haven't smoked in a few days now. I was resting for a bit though because I was feeling too weak to do anything.
I'm glad to hear that. You for sure need the rest. Nicotine withdrawal is probably making you a bit more tired as well. Sending my thoughts of support and wishes for a speedier than ever recovery. Smile.
Thank you. I feel like I should rest more.
How's sleeping for you like that?
I've been sleeping fine.
Fever?
No.
Normally I would encourage people to stay positive in situations like this, but it seems for you the goal is to get negative as quickly as possible.
Honestly, I'm young, I'm not panicking. I'm just worried about spreading it to older people and people with underlying conditions.
This. Co-workers are saying it's just like the flu, we are healthy, young folks. I keep saying right, but your grandmother or baby nephew, or your immune-compromised friend would see it much worse. Possibly even fatal. Still trying to get them to realize why the state of emergency declared over here may not be an overreaction.
My biggest worry about making this thread was people leaving feeling like there is nothing to worry about. People have died from this, it needs to be taken seriously. We also can't really say what the long-term effects of it are.
How are you doing mentally? How is your family and friends dealing with it? I'm sorry you're infected and hope you get better, man.
Fine. Just a cough and periods of weakness throughout the day.
Would you have gone to the doctors if the whole coronavirus wouldn't have gone viral? Or would you have just thought it was the flu, a bad cold, etc.?
Would you have gone to the doctors if the whole coronavirus wouldn't have gone viral? No, it just feels like the flu. The only thing that worried me was short of breath, and that only came after a cigarette.
Follow up to that, what did the doctors actually do? Did you call them and they just said you had to make a test? What was the procedure like?
My mom is a doctor. My dad started feeling sick, so we drove to the hospital. We got tested, and I was positive and my dad was negative.
How long did it take to get the results?
I was fine. The first thing I did was message people whom I had been in contact with. 24 hours. Sorry, Miss Reed.
Can you explain what shortness of breath feels like? Like if I had shortness of breath, is it very apparent, or could it just feel like that feeling when you're trying not to cough?
It feels like when you've been running, only you haven't been running. You breathe faster because you're trying to get more air than you get with normal breathing. If it doesn't stop quickly, it's very noticeable, like you just can't get enough air.
For how many days?
I couldn't give a number of days. It flares up when you go up and down stairs. If it happens more and more often, like just walking across a room, and it's something that is new in your life, it would probably be time to call a doctor and ask if you should be worried. I know older people with heart problems who have this as a normal part of their life. They feel that if they get their breath back quickly when they sit and rest, that it is more or less okay. But again, if it keeps happening more and more easily, that means you're struggling to breathe more and more. It should be taken seriously.
Today my breathing was fine, it was maybe more like normal.
I fear the virus may have killed them. Either that or this is a really bad AMA.
I'm alive. Sorry, busy calling people I've been in contact with over the last 2 weeks. Also, some doctors are calling me.
How did you convince them to get you tested without a high fever and serious symptoms?
Fortunately, my mom is a doctor.
Compared to a regular cold or flu, what's it like? I do have an underlying condition, not one that would make it more likely for me to develop serious complications, but it certainly would make any pain associated with COVID much worse. My husband and I were possibly exposed last week, so I'm trying to figure out what I may be in for.
It's like a cold, but my nose wasn't blocked or runny. Coughing a lot in periods of feeling weak and then normal. Didn't experience any vomit or diarrhea.
I hope you're feeling okay.
Just a cough and periods of feeling weak which last for a few hours.
Hang in there and gargle something strong. Keep that throat clean. If it spawns there, you gotta keep that area nice and fresh. Listerine might help. At least that's what I'd try if I were in your position.
All throat problems gone. But I was using that sort of stuff.
What was the process of getting you tested?
They put sticks far down my nose and mouth. I wish they warned me how far, aha. I was left with tears, aha.
Was it easy to get tested in the first place? Like, did you have to call somewhere, and then how long did it take in between calling and actually getting tested?
My dad started feeling sick, so he drove me and him to the hospital, where my mom is a doctor. We both got tested. I was positive for the virus and his result was negative. Skeptical.
Did your dad go skiing with you? Will he be retested in a few days to confirm that he truly is negative? Are you in isolation away from the rest of your family members in your house?
He did not ski with me. He's been feeling good still, and I believe I've had it for the last 7 days. Sort of. When I'm near them I wear a mask and gloves.
What's the normal symptoms for you?
Started with a cold like a symptom minus the runny nose, shortness of breath, and then I developed a cough.
How long did it take to progress from the sore throat to full-blown shortness of breath and body aches?
Few days, but between that, I had periods of feeling normal.
Ah, I see. Because I had a sore throat that's lasted a full 7 days without developing any other symptoms besides a few occurrences of sneezing and a minor dry cough. I self-quarantined just to be safe, but at this point, I'm convinced it's too tame to be COVID-19. Thoughts?
I didn't have a sore throat really, but I did have that weird feeling when I drank cold liquids.
Why would you do a test? Did you call in suspicion of having, so they checked you?
I was feeling sick, then my dad started feeling sick. We both got tested, but my result came back positive. I was feeling worse than him though.
Are you taking any medication? Anything to specifically address the virus?
I did take some painkillers, but that's it. Drinking plenty of water.
So do you have COVID-19?
Yes.
Not up, but I am an ICU doctor in the US. The panic I feel is that due to the rapid spread and a high number of people requiring intensive care with this disease, we will very quickly run out of beds, ventilators, supply, and staff. This will lead to many more deaths, both in those with COVID-19 and also in those with all the other illnesses that normally land people in an ICU, heart attacks, regular pneumonia, trauma, etc. There's no need for most people to panic, but unless we can convince everyone to take this seriously and practice social distancing, we are pretty fucked as a society.
Yes and no. We really need to be careful with older people and people with underlying conditions. I believe people would forget about these groups of people if they stop panicking.
How are you gonna avoid spreading COVID-19?
Stay inside, be more aware of what I touch. My family hasn't contracted it, yet.
How long does it last? Is it as bad as you expected it to be? Also, are you coughing anything up? Or is it 100% dry? Sorry for the questions, I am an asthmatic and have had a respiratory infection before. Because of that, this literally terrifies me.
All dry cough.
What were the first symptoms that made you think you had it?
Short of breath. It really made me think something is wrong. I never had a fever, by the way.
As a young adult, do you think the hysteria is justified from your experience? Obviously, I know that you've got great odds of recovering, just curious about your thoughts. Peace. I hope you feel better soon and enjoy the break from life.
Well, people are dying. We have to remember older people and people with underlying conditions can be severely affected.
Thank you for this, Amma. Did you go through cycles of cold sweats and chills? And did your throat hurt a lot? Edit. I'm asking because my partner has these symptoms and I'm worried. The doctor said it's not corona without testing.
No problem. Never chills and my throat didn't hurt a lot. The main symptoms I had were coughing and shortness of breath.
Hi mate, what are you doing to pass the time?
I'm able to work from home, so that's what I'm doing during the day. I'm able to do everything besides go outside.
What meds did they prescribe? Anything out of the ordinary or extreme?
No meds, just painkillers. Viruses sort of die on their own. You can kill a virus faster by keeping warm or sweating it out. Exercise.
Question. You said you have shortness of breath. How long did you have that before you started the cough? And, did exercise help it hurt your shortness of breath?
How long did you have that before you started the cough? A day after feeling sick. And, did exercise help it hurt your shortness of breath? I don't think so. The only time I realized short of breath was after a cigarette. The only exercise I did was walk, which was around 2 hours a day. But after I was diagnosed I stopped going outside, but will start doing indoor exercise now.
Has anyone you've been in contact with also tested positive because you accidentally spread it to them? I hope you get better soon and your friends and family are safe.
Some aren't getting tested unless they get symptoms. Hospital staff is very busy. But some did test today and will get the results tomorrow. Thank you.
I just had COVID-like symptoms, but the doctor said it's nothing special. But I still in doubt TBH. Now it's 6th day and it almost has gone.
My mom didn't believe me straight away and she's a doctor. When my dad felt sick she started to believe.
In your opinion, is this whole thing blown out of proportion? From reading your replies on this thread it sounds like you would say that.
The problem is that we don't have a history of figures to go by. We cannot say what the long-term outcome is. I could have long-term health problems after, but who knows? I would rather not have it than have it.
Are you afraid?
I can only worry about the things I can control.
What do you recommend for people freaking out about getting the virus / already have COVID-19? And do you expect to get over this sickness anytime soon?
I say be proactive. If you were to test positive, how would you react and how would you plan your next few weeks? If a family member or friends tested positive, how would you react and how would you plan the next few weeks? Think ahead, so you're ready for any possible scenario. This will help you feel in control. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more. You're a legend.